It's Jessie, and this is the Bun Mom Life. Hello, Fluffle Fam! Welcome back to the Bun Mom Life. I'm Jessie, professional voice actor by day, and a completely obsessed bun mom of 4 every waking moment, and I'm so glad you're here. Today's episode is all about what my bunnies eat, and the recommended bunny health diet in general, with a focus on adult bunnies. Please note that a young bunny or a baby bunny has very different dietary needs. Our focus today is on adult bunnies, since that's what is in line with what our bunnies are currently eating on a daily basis. One day I'll have another episode that covers a young or baby bunny's diet. But today, just the adult ones. I'm going to cover the main categories along with other edible categories. So we have hay, fresh veggies, pellets, supplements and forage, treats, and water too. So I've got my cup of tea over here. I've also got Granny Smith apples. It's a voice actor's trick. I hope you have your tea or whatever snack you'd like. And let's get into it. All right, let's start with the most important part of a bunny's diet, hay. And I really do mean that this is the most important. Bunnies need 24/7 access to unlimited fresh hay, always. That's the main part of their diet. We like to order our hay in bulk from a supplier that sources directly from farms, and this has been a huge game changer for us. Before we made this switch, we were buying from big pet store brands, and a lot of it was yellow or brown and just clearly not very fresh. The bulk orders are better quality overall, and you get so much more for your money. After getting hay from this source, our bunnies actually do not like pet store brands at all. That said, not every batch from our bulk supplier is a winner. There have been the rare miss here and there, but on the whole, it's been a much better experience, and we definitely wouldn't go back to pet store brands. We only use them for emergencies in case we run out before I'm able to order more or delivery is delayed. Then I might run out to the pet store. We might grab a bag of the pet store brands. It's really just for a last resort because ultimately Rue and Kumo don't really like it. So they don't actually eat much of it. Bunnies graze constantly throughout the day and night. It's how they're built, so it's really important that they always have access to a fresh pile. We refresh their hay in each of their litter boxes once a day. We have one litter box on the upper floor where our studios and the bedroom is, and another litter box on the main gathering level. And we have a little trick. If the bunnies are being restless or antsy or seeming like they need some stimulation, we'll top up even more hay. And sometimes we'll put hay into a little box, a separate box, and put it off to the side so that they can forage in it, and they really love that. The bonus is it keeps them from chewing on things that we'd really rather they didn't. Eating hay also encourages really natural bunny behaviors. Digging, chewing, foraging, which is wonderful for their mental enrichment too. And our little Cloud Kumo loves to keep some emergency hay pieces on his body to carry around with him, sometimes on his forehead, sometimes sticking out of his cheek, sometimes dangling from his tushy or clinging to his thumper. It's really funny. It always happens to Kumo, but never with Rue. Rue is kind of a clean freak. Well, all bunnies are pretty clean freaks, but Rue is exceptionally so. And we often know if Kumo has been wandering around somewhere or on a particular chair because he will leave pieces of hay as mementos for us to find. A hay on Bundet's chair, a hay in my vocal booth. Never know when you might need that emergency nibble. Being a bun parent means naturally being obsessed with our bunnies eating hay. It means we will watch our bunnies so closely, like anxious little mother hens, especially after any medical procedures or bouts of sickness. And there are so many reasons that we could do a whole deep dive into, and maybe we will in a future episode. But for today, here are the two big reasons. First, hay promotes a healthy gut. Bunnies' bodies are designed to eat a lot of fiber, which is exactly what hay delivers. All that fiber helps feed a healthy, balanced community of good bacteria in their gut, keeping things moving the way that they should. And we never, ever want a bunny's gut to stop moving. That's what GI stasis is, and it's extremely dangerous. Many things can cause GI stasis in a bunny, unfortunately, and when that happens, their gut stalls, they stop eating, they stop pooping, and it can become fatal very quickly. Eating plenty of hay is critical for a healthy gut. Second, hay is great for their teeth. A bunny's teeth never stops growing. That's just how they've evolved. So they need rough, fibrous food like hay to help wear their teeth down and keep them at a healthy length. A little caveat to this, because it's something close to our hearts. Some bunnies, despite eating tons of hay, will still develop dental problems because of their genetics and their breed. This is definitely the case with our bunnies. Breeds like Holland Lops, that's our Queen Roo, and Lionheads, that's our little Cloud Kumo, they're highly predisposed to dental disease. It's because of their shortened, smushed faces. They were bred to look the way that they do, and unfortunately, that often comes with a predisposition to dental issues. So even with all the hay in the world and the right chew toys, Roo and Kumo still need regular dental procedures. But that doesn't mean the hay isn't doing anything. I have no doubt that their dental issues would be far worse with their genes if they weren't eating enough hay. The hay still matters enormously. Some of you may know there are many, many different types of hay out there, and the most common ones for bunnies are Timothy hay, orchard grass, oat hay, and meadow hay. We like to give our bunnies a mix and rotate different types to keep things interesting for them, but we always have Timothy hay on hand as their main base. Their favorite, or one of their absolute favorite mixes, is a mix of first cut and second cut Timothy hay. And yes, we will eventually do a deep dive into the different types of hay, but for now, just a brief overview of Timothy hay. It has 3 cuts. Most crops only get about 1 harvest per year, and Timothy hay is one of the few that gets multiple cuttings. So the first cut is the stemmy, coarse one. It's highest in fiber, lowest in protein and fat, and really great for dental wear. Second cut is softer and leafier, a little higher in protein and fat, less fiber than first cut, but still a really good amount, and is a great balanced option for healthy adult bunnies. Third cut is the softest and the most lush, lowest in fiber and higher in protein and fat. It's almost like a treat in hay form. We like giving a mix of first and second cut. Our bun seem to enjoy that. They like the mix of the coarser stems with the softer, tasty leafy greens. And once in a while, we'll rotate in some oat hay for them, some meadow hay, depending on availability and freshness. Next up, fresh greens. Fresh vegetables are wonderful for bunnies. They provide vitamins and nutrients, fiber, and also hydration. They should make up about 10% of a rabbit's daily diet. So this will be about 1 to 3 cups of fresh veggies per day, depending on your bunny's weight. I highly recommend visiting the Bunny Lady's website. She has a post all about what to feed your rabbit and includes a very handy little chart with quantity of veggies recommended depending on weight of your bunny. Her website is fantastic and is a great resource, so anyone who's a bunny parent or bunny curious, wanting to be a bunny parent, definitely go check her out. For our bunnies, we give about 1.5 to 2 cups of fresh greens per day, and we love rotating through a variety of rabbit-safe vegetables to give them as many different nutrients as possible. We like to give a rotation of 3 to 4 different types per day. Some of our bunnies' favorites are green and red leaf lettuce, romaine lettuce, dandelion greens, they love that, bok choy, arugula, some kale, cilantro, basil, dill, and every so often we like to introduce a new bunny-safe, nutrient-dense veggie for them to try and to enjoy. One particular veggie I do want to mention to avoid, just because I think it's easy to get lumped in and mixed in with lettuce, is iceberg lettuce. So it's very low in nutrients, and the high water content can actually cause loose stools. Worse, it actually contains a compound called lacticarium. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly, which actually is a mild sedative. So feeding iceberg lettuce can result in your bunnies getting diarrhea and digestive issues. So make sure to avoid that one. Always introduce new veggies slowly. Give a small piece first, monitor their stool for the next 24 hours, and if everything looks normal, you can gradually give more. A bunny's digestive system is really sensitive, so slow and steady is the way to go. We give most of their daily greens at morning breakfast, which many of you have seen on our Instagram. They love eating their veggie breakfast inside their little tent. We train them to run to the tent for breakfast, and they do it every single morning without fail. No matter where we move that tent to a different spot, different room, they know to go there. They're brilliant. They'll even run inside and wait while I'm washing the vegetables. And once they hear the running water turn off, they know I'm almost done, and they get so excited that they'll sometimes run out of the tent towards me, then turn around and immediately dart back in. It's so cute. And it's one of my favorite parts of my mornings. Okay, now on to pellets. Pellets is an interesting one. In North America, they're pretty widely promoted, but I've learned that in other parts of the world, it's more the norm to not offer pellets at all and focus more on a natural diet, which means a diet consisting of only hay, fresh leafy greens, herbs, and forage. And then depending on the variety and the quantity of these foods that a bunny is getting, pellets actually may not be necessary. Pellets aren't technically required for bunnies to survive, but they serve as a very useful nutritional supplement to help ensure that bunnies are getting all their essential vitamins and minerals. The key, though, is that they should only make up a small percentage of the overall diet. They really are just a supplement. Too many pellets can lead to obesity and other related issues. Not all pellets are created equal either. So when you're evaluating a pellet, look for ones that are hay-based and don't add any other fancy additional ingredients like fruits or seeds or nuts. We really just want plain old, non-fancy pellets. Find the brands that are high in fiber and low in fat content. And just another reminder here, in case anyone's forgotten, that this applies to adult rabbits, not baby or young ones. They have different dietary needs, including pellets. We give our bunnies about 1 to 2 tablespoons per day, depending on the brand. We recently switched to a new brand that we've been trying out, so the measurements are slightly different right now while we dial it in, but it's been great so far. The bunnies really, really love it. And we do too. Okay, let's talk supplements. If your bunny's getting unlimited fresh hay, a good rotation of vegetables, a quality pellet, and they're healthy, they genuinely don't need supplements. Those bases are really well covered. That said, for us, we like to offer a supplement cut in half as a little treat alongside their pellets in their stacking cups. It gives them a fun foraging activity as they root around and unstack all the cups to find the good stuff. It's purely optional, though, and it's definitely not a nutritional necessity unless, of course, your bunny has some medical conditions and your vet recommends supplements to assist them. Always research the supplements, what's in it, and whether it be beneficial or potentially harmful for your bunny, because it is possible to over-supplement. So to be safe, if you are wanting to offer supplements, just check in with your trustworthy exotic vet first. As our bunnies get older and move into their senior years, we may look more into supplements that are specifically designed to support elderly rabbits, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. And forage. Forage is great for a bunny's mental enrichment, and then depending on the blend, it can also support their health in different ways. You just want to make sure it's a good quality forage blend with all bunny-safe ingredients. We like to research high-quality, reputable brands, and we'll occasionally give our bunnies a tablespoon of forage per day, sprinkled onto their forage mat or mixed into their hay. We prefer the forage mat just because we find that if we put it in their hay, sometimes they just dig out all the hay to get to the forage, and then the hay gets abandoned, or they pee on the hay and then we have to do a refresh, whereas that hay would have been perfectly fine if they hadn't dug it out and peed on it. The bunnies love, love, love foraging, and watching them dig through the mat to find every little piece is so much fun. One thing to keep in mind is that it may not be a great idea to offer forage constantly. We really limit the amount we give to our buns, and we do treat it like a treat. Because if we're offering too much, it will encourage selective feeding in bunnies. So then they end up eating all the foods that they find the most delicious, which also tends to be those highest in calories, and then they may not eat as much of their hay. So that's why for us, if we do offer it, it's about just a tablespoon per day. So just keep that in mind. Treats! All bun buns love their Treatos. I have to always remind myself, a small piece of fruit is like a giant piece of cake for them. The sugar content in fruit is not great for their digestion, so it really does need to be given very sparingly. Too many treats can lead to unhealthy weight gain or upset their sensitive digestive systems, so we really do want to be extra careful with sweet treats like fruits or ones that are made with oats. There are also a lot, unfortunately, of really bad treats out there on the market in pet stores. So again, I really want to emphasize making sure to look things up first before purchasing and bringing home to your bunnies. For us, we offer a sweet treat maybe twice a week at the most as a small occasional thing. For our Timo, who had ongoing chronic health issues that we were never able to diagnose, we stayed on the very safe side, and we gave, I think perhaps in his whole lifespan with us, we gave him maybe 2 or 3 treats. We just didn't want to risk it, but I totally understand wanting to make those furry little bun buns super happy and have their fluffy little tushies doing the ecstatic, joyous twerking. It's so cute, and it's so wonderful to make them so delighted. So it is hard to deny them a Treato once in a while. So just do it sparingly and with caution. And know your bunny. Some bunnies are more sensitive than others for sure. And finally, water. I think this goes without saying, but fresh water, always. Our bunnies need constant access to clean, fresh water, just like they need access to unlimited fresh hay. One thing worth knowing is bunnies actually drink a surprising amount of water, sometimes as much as a small dog. So in most cases, offering water in a bowl is much better than a bottle. Bottles tend to be slow and restrictive for how much a bunny actually needs to drink in a day. It's also more natural for bunnies to drink from a bowl in terms of their posture rather than a bottle. We use a heavy ceramic bowl, so our bunnies cannot flip it over because they definitely try. And we refresh the water daily and clean the bowl regularly to avoid buildup of mold or bacteria and biofilm on the inside. There may be circumstances when a water bottle is preferential to a bowl. Maybe the bunnies are constantly spilling the water, flipping the bowl, getting themselves or the surroundings wet all the time. Then a bottle may be better in those cases, but if possible, try to see if using a different type of bowl or placing the bowl in a different area would work, because studies have definitely shown that bunnies hydrate and drink much more water with a bowl. And that's really everything that goes into feeding our 4 bunnies every single day. The big things to remember: hay, always, 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 always. That's non-negotiable. Fresh greens daily, a small amount of good quality pellets unless you're very intentional and able to give your bunny a good variety of veggies and herbs and forage. Always check with your vet first though. Treats very sparingly, and fresh water. And just a little note and reminder before I let you go, I'm not a vet, not a nutritionist, or a certified bunny professional of any kind. None of this is medical advice or nutritional advice. Everything I've shared today comes from my own research and our own personal experience feeding 4 bunnies over the years. Bunny nutrition is something I feel passionate about, and I've tried to be as accurate as possible. But every bunny is different, and what works well for ours may not be exactly right for yours. Please always consult with a trusted and experienced exotic vet before making significant changes to your bunny's diet, especially if your bunny has any health conditions. Your exotic vet will always be your best resource when it comes to your specific bunny's needs. I'm just your bun mom friend, sharing what we know and love. If this episode was helpful, I'd love it if you shared it with a fellow bun parent or someone who's bun parent curious. And if you have any questions, or if you just want to share what your bunnies eat, or if your bunnies get pellets or not, come find me on Instagram at thebunmomlife or at littleloppyroo, or drop me an email at thebunmomlife@gmail.com, or leave a comment on this episode. I love hearing from you. If you enjoyed today's episode, please like and subscribe. It helps more than you know. All right, Fluffle Fam. Have a wonderful rest of your day or evening, wherever you are. You are loved and cherished always. Our Bun Bun send you lots of boops. Bye.